Yo, yo, yo. You already know what it do. What it is. You now tuned in to Hoops Talk with Relly Rell. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? You see it in the back. You see it in the back. Hoops Talk with Relly Rell, B. You already know what it is. You see the mic popping up and then everything. You know what I'm saying? Yo, check this out. We got a lot to talk about right now. This is actually the first episode. Y'all in for a treat, though. Yo, check this out. We got a lot to talk about. We talking about hoops, baby. You already know. I'm your host, Relly Rell. You know what I'm saying? I've been in a lot of places, Brooklyn, Alabama, Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm here. I'm here for the culture. I'm here for the, hoops talk. I'm here for the basketball, because that's what we love out here. That's what we do. All right? Yo, check it out. You see it in the background. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get my little background on the wall. That way I ain't got to have this on here. But this is how we doing it. This is my show anyway. You know what I'm saying? Sponsored by me. Sponsored by Love Me. Sponsored by Serve Fresh Daily. Sponsored by NYOT Studios. You know what I'm saying? New York out of towners, baby. I'm 1/3 of Hoops and Hip Hop. You know what I'm saying? The NYOT boys, my man Drew, my man Trav. We do what we got to do in here. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of things going, you know what I'm saying? But this is my little segment right here, my little short where we talk about hoops, man. I just talk about the general, hoop aspect, college, high school, NBA, the pros and things like that. I have my, opinions on it. And then I share my opinions also on hoops and hip hops. You know what I'm saying? Check this out. Check hoops and hip hop out. You know what I'm saying? Coming soon, Knicks at night. So y'all stay tuned for that. But furthermore, let's get into it. First thing I want to get into, what I want to talk about, I want to really talk about what's going on with my Knicks. You know what I'm saying? So basically, will my Knicks make a finals run? And this is a deep question because it says my Knicks, as you can see, because I'm a Knick through and through, baby. You see the orange and blue is already represented. You know what I'm saying? So this is what we're going to do right here. What I think about it, when I think about the Knicks making a run, honestly, I'm going to say I'm not sure. It's to be determined right now. I'm a little nervous with the way Mike Brown is running the team, with the way the team's morale seems to be, and the edginess of the defense and how we used to definitely put our hard hat on for the defense. I don't think we had that identity like we did last year, 2 years ago, especially when we had Tibbs. Now, I'm not saying Mike Brown is a bad coach. I think his philosophies offensively, I think he's a good coach and he's a good communicator. But also, I think that sometimes the accountability is not as stern as it should be, like it would be with Tibbs. I feel like they played defense for Tibbs because Tibbs demanded it, demanded that defense. You know what I'm saying? The accountability was there in practice, everywhere. You feel what I'm saying? I think Mike Brown preaches defense, but I don't think it's in a way like Tibbs does it. See, Tibbs does it in a way where it's in your face. It's grind. We're gonna do this. We're gonna run this again. Run it again. You know what I'm saying? Is that type of intensity he brings. I don't think Mike Brown brings that intensity. I think he brings, like the sophisticated style of play of it. You know what I'm saying? Like the plays, the defensive schemes that they run through most likely are good defensive schemes, but it's the way you're delivering in it. Sometimes like the players hear it, they know what they're supposed to do, but sometimes, in the heat of the game, you have to sometimes remind those players like, hey, this is what we work on. What are we doing right now? Calling somebody out, calling a player out. And I get it. Some of these players are a little sensitive to being called out, but that's just what it is. Coaching is coaching. You got to coach. You feel what I'm saying? And I think the Knicks can make a run. I'm not worried about first round. We're going to either play the Hawks or Orlando or, one of these teams. The Hawks I can see that being a 6-game series with the Hawks, because the Hawks are very athletic. They have very good wings. Kuminga is looking good. They have Jalen Johnson. They have CJ as the mentor and the elder statesman of the group to keep the group together. You know what I'm saying? And, he's a fourth quarter bucket getter when it's time, clutch time, 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. You can saying, you can put your trust in CJ. They have a lot of wings, a lot of athleticism, and some depth. They're definitely deep. And they've been on a run lately. They've been on a tear. They've been on a tear. And I I think I think it's 6 games. I really do. I really think that's a 6 game series right there. We get them out there in 6. We're definitely the stronger team, but if we sleep, they could force this into a game 7 if we don't come to play. But I don't think they will beat us in a series, an actual 7 game series. Now, the way the standings are looking, Detroit is 1, Boston is 2, we're 3. You have Cleveland at 4. So I think we're probably going to be third or second. Well, I know we play Boston. We definitely play Boston in like a week. So that game is going to be determined I'm assuming who gets the number 2 spot, because we definitely have the upper hand on Boston right now. We beat them more times than they beat us. So if they tie it, tiebreaker, we already know what happens. I mean, if we have the same record and we're already second, we're all good. If they're second, then they stay. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like one of those things. But I think we can win this game coming up. That will help us get our second. You know what I'm saying? Us losing to Charlotte didn't help. And that's why I'm saying I'm worried, because sometimes certain teams kind of exposes us, like in a way, somewhat. And sometimes we just don't get up for certain opponents, which makes me mad with some of these teams when they look down on an opponent. Never look down on anyone. Always handle your business. That's how I look at things, letting your guard down because you think you're going to just win this game. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Sometimes it does. When people trying to lay down, you know what I'm saying? Now, we went on a nice little win streak. I think it was like 8 games, 7, 8 games or whatever, 7. We was like, I want to say we was like 10 and 2 out of 12 games, out of the last 12 games. But all of those games were against teams that were tanking, literally, like tanking. We play some heavy hitters. Tonight we play OKC. We'll see what's up with that. I think we should win that game. I think we will win that game. I think we got that, hopefully, because last game was close. Shea hit a nice clutch jumper on us. That hurt us right there. But that let me know that we can play with OKC, though, in that game. That let me know we could run with them. But besides that, yeah, the teams that we beat in that 12-game stretch where we won 10 and 2, everybody was taken. All these teams was taken. So it really didn't give me confidence, like, ooh, we just did what we were supposed to do because we're the better team. I feel like some of them teams gave us a gut punch where it was a little bit too close for my liking, and that's what makes me worry about this playoff. I feel like, in a way, that we're just ready for the playoffs. I feel like, in a way, we're just ready for the playoffs, and we want to really get to the playoffs and not even, like have to worry about the rest of the regular season and stuff like that. But we got to get through the regular season. We got these last couple games are very important for us because we're trying to either get the position of 2 or at least just give us a nice cushion of wins where we're confident and we're actually going into the playoffs like, okay, the system is working. The Mike Brown system does work because, 1, we're winning. We have a winning record. We're third in the East. Can't complain too much about that. I really think we should be second. We should have been second, or we should have been the best team, but we went through little ups and downs. It's cool. I like the fact that we had adversity and we went through the ups and downs, because now it's nothing that we haven't seen. So when we get to the playoffs, we straight. When we get to the playoffs, we are good. And that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that we are always in the mindset of, even though we went through these little trials, we are good. The little win streak where I think we lost like 8. We was like on an 8-game losing streak or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy. We lost like 8 out of 11 games or something like that. That was a test for us. And after All-Star break, we got it back. We've been playing pretty good. Defense has gone up. We went up in defensive efficiency. So we was one of the better teams in defensive efficiency. I think we was like second, third or something like that. I think we was like third because I think OKC and Detroit was 1 and 2. So I think we was like third or fourth or something like that. We were one of the hotter teams, I would say, in the league. So I think we can make a run. I think we can make a run. We have to go through, second round. If we third or we second, either way it goes, we're gonna have to play Boston in the second round, which I'm not scared of because we already handled Boston last year, but that's last year. This is a new year, and I get it. JB is looking fantastic, phenomenal, but I still think we got their number. I still think we know how to beat Boston. Now, Detroit, on the other hand, they scare me because they spanked us by 30 and 40. And they want to spank us when they want to play us. They hope we make it to the conference finals because they want to see us. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and they spanked us already and showed us like, this is what we're going to do to you. I don't know. Like, I know JB is not scared of Detroit, but is the rest of the team ready? You know what I'm saying? Is Cat ready? Mikel ready? That's another thing. Got to step up. Has to. A 20-point scorer in Brooklyn. He averaged like 16, 17, I think, in Phoenix. We need to see that. We need that. We need that in the playoffs. Like he's been playing suspect for the past 15 games. And it's killing me because even Stephen A said it. They gave up a lot for him. And it's not his fault that they gave up a lot for him. But at the same time, you're in New York, bro. You got a ball. You're in New York. You got a ball. You know where you at. You know the atmosphere. You feel it. You felt it last year. You know the expectations of what we expect. So you got a ball. And he hasn't been balling lately. Like the last couple games, I think he had 14. Another game he had over 10. Good. We need more of that. I need 18 plus. I need 18 plus. He really need to be dropping 20. He should be the third leading scorer on our team, which is bananas that he's not, which is crazy to me that he's not. I don't understand. I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know if he's trying to figure out the offense too or what it is. I don't know. Like, he's the one that was complaining about Tibbs. Tibbs got out of here. He got a good coach that wants to maximize the bench and maximize the depth that we have. And it's being maximized. We're using our depth, which I like because we're going to need this in the playoffs. But at the same time, he's not producing like he's supposed to. Now, defensively, I don't really have a problem with him defensively. I know he come out, play defense, and he never misses games. I give him credit for that. But offensively, we need him to be aggressive. We definitely need him to be aggressive. I am not a fan of how he's playing right now at all. Not a fan. So with that being said, yeah, I think we good. I think we can make a run. I'm only worried about Detroit, even though in the 7-game series, I think we can win that series. I really do. But it's going to be a hard 7 games, baby. It's going to be a hard 7 games. It is. But I think we could get to the finals. I think we could get to the finals, meet OKC or San Antonio. We'll talk about that in the next, who I think is going to be in the finals and conference finals. So that's basically what I think about that. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully the Knicks, we get it together, man. I need the Knicks to get it together, bruh. The Knicks can make it to the finals. All we got to do is get through Boston, which I think we'll definitely do, and get through the Pistons. That's the hump right there. We got to get through the Pistons right now. We ain't got Indiana to worry about. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got to worry about nobody else. Hopefully the standards don't change where we got to play Orlando in the first round. I hope that doesn't happen. In these next couple of games, I'm going to be watching and see what the standards look like. I hope that doesn't happen because Orlando always plays us tough, and that'll be a dog fight getting out that first round. And I don't want us to be somewhat tired or, mentally strained a little bit going into a Boston series where Boston is looking to get their revenge. They're looking to get their get back too. So this is a good storyline with this whole Eastern Conference playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Detroit looking for they get back. They won us. We like, ooh, they just spanked us. So can we beat them or not? And then Boston is looking like we want our get back. They felt like we weren't supposed to beat them last year. So let's see what's up. You know what I'm saying? Orlando just trying to make a name for themselves. So there's a lot of storylines going on. Will Cleveland come out the woodwork with James Harden and how Spider looking right now? You know what I'm saying? Will that come out in effect. But we'll see. You know what I'm saying? But I think the Knicks will make it to the finals. Definitely. I think we can make it to the finals. I'm a firm believer. You know what I'm saying? Knicks tape, baby. Knicks to, Knicks forever. New York always, baby. You know what it is. All right, we're gonna go on to the next. We're gonna go on to the next, man. I'm definitely want to talk about who right now. I want to talk about NBA contenders. Who's really got a shot at getting to the finals? I have some sleepers and I have some sure enough, I think they're going to get to the finals. So I'm going to go with the West first because I already kind of talked about the East and what I think a little bit with the Knicks. So I'm going to go with the West. So basically, obviously, OKC is a contender. They're the champs, you know what I'm saying? Defending champs, you know what I'm saying? I'm definitely putting the Spurs up there with Wemby. Wemby is my favorite player besides, Edwards. My two favorite players right now, as far as like the the competitiveness and the mindset of I don't care who's on the court. Like I don't care who you are. I'm at you. You know what I'm saying? They all got that mentality. When I talk about the 90s mentality and today's NBA, I'm talking about Wemby and Edwards, players like Shea, players like Jalen Brunson. You know what I'm saying? Like players like, I don't care about none of this. Let's get it. You know what I'm saying? Bucket, defensive stop. I ain't talking about JB when I'm talking about defensive stop, though. You know he don't play no defense like that. But I'm looking at that. Who's those guys? So basically, obviously OKC, obviously the Spurs, definitely Denver. They sleeping on Denver because Denver been up and down, whatever. Joker been hurt, whatever. They always quiet. Last year they was a little hurt. They was hurt. Aaron Gordon got hurt or whatever. It was man down there a little deeper this year. So as you can see, when Joker was out, they still played very well without him. They played pretty good without him. I think they went like 6-3 or 7-3 or 6-4 or something like that in 10 games or whatever that he was out. They had a good record. You know what I'm saying? They played very well. They kept the boat afloat. Definitely them. Edwards always, it's Timberwolves. I'm always playing Ant in there because conference finals 2 years in a row coming from, and last year they was a 6 seed. I think they was either fifth or 6 seed. No, they was 6 seed because they played the 3rd seed, which was the Lakers again. So they about to do this all over again. And let's see, you know what I'm saying? Now, do I think the Lakers are a contender? No, I don't. I think they're second round at best, depending on who they play on the first round. Looks like they supposed to play Houston in the first round. So they playing Houston in the first round. And also they're playing Houston. They're playing if they get to the second round, they beat Houston, they're going to have to play San Antonio because San Antonio is beating whoever comes out the Clippers and Sun series when they play the play-in. Whoever get there, the Spurs is going to handle that. Now, I will say this, the Clippers win and they get there, I look at that maybe a 7-game series in the first round with them. Suns, maybe not so, maybe 6 games. But definitely second round at best for the Lakers. I'm going to say that right there. That's really the only contenders I really see like that actually like be a problem in the West to make it to the finals. So, obviously OKC, Spurs, Denver and the Timberwolves. But, Denver and the Timberwolves, if the playoffs will start right now, Denver and the Timberwolves will actually play each other. So if they play each other, one got to go. But those are my contenders for the West. I actually see actually taking down OKC if OKC get taken down because I still think OKC going to make it to the conference finals. So, that's what it is. On the East, obviously, I think Detroit, obviously us, obviously the Knicks, definitely Boston because they championship proven and JT is back. So with JT coming back, implementing himself, I don't know if he ready yet. He still look a little sluggish, but he been looking okay in some of the games. But besides that, he's definitely hasn't been a thorn in the Boston side. So they've still been winning. So basically, Boston, and I'm gonna go ahead and give Cleveland a little somewhat respect, but I got to see it. The way they looked last year going up against Indiana, I don't know, but they have James Harden. They got somebody who could run the offense, get everybody the ball, and get you 20. So defense is going to be a problem with them, obviously. James Harden, and then they got Donovan Mitchell, who doesn't. I mean, I ain't gonna say they terrible at defense, but they ain't locking nothing up. They ain't locking nobody up. Let's be honest with that. Definitely. I'm going. Yeah, I see. Yeah, what I see right here. I see Cleveland. Yeah, that's probably it. Sleepers, a definite sleeper. My sleeper on the West is definitely the Clippers. If they can pull it off and beat San Antonio in the first round. You know what I'm saying? Sleeper is definitely the Clippers. Or the Suns, but I'm gonna go with the Clippers because Kawhi been playing phenomenal. He been looking like Kawhi Leonard Jordan. That's what he been looking like most of this for this back half of the season. But on the East, sleeper, I'm not going front. I'm gonna look at 76ers. I'm gonna definitely look at the 76ers right now. I know like they ain't gonna be healthy, nothing like that, but B back, PG back, they're looking pretty good. VJ looks like he can be a fourth option that can score 30 for you in a playoff series. He looked like he can win a game for you. You know what I'm saying? Maxey definitely gonna win, help you win the series. And then you got Embiid and PG. PG looked pretty good coming back. Looked like he got well rested after the Baku that he had with getting suspended for using some drugs he shouldn't have been using or whatever, because of his mental health, worrying about his knee or whatever, you know what I'm saying? They're a little weak-minded in this generation, but they can ball. I get that to them. They're a little weak-minded, but they can ball in this generation. Definitely I'm going with, yeah, I'm gonna go with 76ers as a sleeper. Go with 76ers as a sleeper. And that's really, the contenders is, Detroit, yeah, and Cleveland, got Cleveland in there. I'm curious to see what the Hornets do because the Hornets has been looking really good in this playing. The East playing is going to be tough with Orlando and Philly playing each other, and possibly the Heat and the Hornets. That's going to be there's going to be some good games. And then the West, you got Phoenix and the Clippers, and then you got Portland and Golden State. Like, I feel bad for Golden State for Steph being hurt and Jimmy getting hurt and stuff like that. I felt like they was going to be a top 6 team in the West, and they was going to be one of the ones to look at as a scary opponent to face, possibly in the in rounds, because they had Jimmy. And I'm really hoping that next year they come healthy, because I would really like to see Jimmy and Steph and Draymond and them together. I went over there because he's in a winning, not to say that Miami wasn't a winning culture, but he's in a better winning culture, championship, culture, even though Miami is a championship culture, but they haven't seen a chip in a while. But I like to see that dynamic next year. But as far as, my contenders, that's where I'm going with it. It's really give or take for real, depending on the matchups. That's really who I think who you're going to look at as possibly could be in finals or whatever and contend. So that's what I'm going with. And so, since we did that, we're just going to go with the obvious. Who's going to make the conference finals and who's going to make the finals, man? My NBA finals and my conference finals picks. Let's get into that. Let's get into that right there. So on the West, I like to do the West first. On the West, I'm definitely going with the Spurs and OKC. Either the Spurs and the OKC or Timberwolves and the Spurs. So I got two. I got the Spurs and OKC or the Timberwolves and the Spurs. So if Ant Joker in the first round, they are playing OKC. Whoever OKC beats, right? That's a revenge series. Because how OKC did Ant-Man last year, how they locked him up, how they had him looking frustrated, not knowing what to do, and his teammates could not help him. I know he is looking for that get back. He is looking to attack. So I feel like that's going to be a good series. I think it's going to go 7. I don't, possibly I could be wrong, but I think that's a 7-game series. It can go either way with me. I really would like to have Ant in there, honestly. I like OKC as a team, though. I like OKC as a team. So either way, I would like to just see good basketball between the two, and whoever wins, wins. But I'm I'm gonna kind of lean towards Ant because I would like to see Ant and Wemby in the conference finals. That's something to behold because I feel like that's gonna be like in the mix of the battle of who gets to the battle of the West, who gets to the finals. I think it's always gonna be get between OKC, Denver, the Spurs, and Ant-Man and the boy and the Wolves. That's who I think going to be in that fight every year for the next few years to get to the finals in the West. So yeah, I got those two in my conference. I got the conference finals. So it's either OKC and the Spurs or the T Wolves and the Spurs. Timberwolves and the Spurs. I know the Spurs is gone because even if the Lakers make it to the second round, they're not beating the Spurs. And if they lose to Houston, Houston is not beating the Spurs. Either way it go. And whoever played the Spurs in the first round, not beating the Spurs, I don't think so. Like I said, if they play the Clippers, I think Kawhi would, make that make it hard for them, but not really. I think Wemby is on a mission. Wemby has called the NBA out. He has called the players. He has called OKC out. He has called Joker out. He even called Ant out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? All-Star game, you know how he came with it. Ant-Man even said it like, I played hard because, Wemby was coming. Wemby was balling. And I like the mentality that Wemby has. I like how he talks to the interviewers. I like his mentality towards the game. He has a different respect than the others do. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it. He has the 90s mentality. He wants to be the best. He wants to let everybody know he wants to be the best. And he wants to show it as well. He wants to show that in any kind of way. You feel what I'm saying? Like he's not scared. He's not running from no smoke. He's not ducking nothing. He's coming at you with all chest out. Like, what up? You know what I'm saying? Is nothing. And I like that about Wemby. Wemby right now is becoming my favorite player, all because of the mentality. Of course, 7'5", able to 5, has a dribbling package, able to go inside and out. The things he's been doing, the way he's been defending, the way the opponents are scared to come in where they looking with their head on the swivel, like where he at, and he be sitting there like a shark in water, like waiting. Dun, 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 shot go up. Get it out of here. You feel what I'm saying? Like Wemby, I'm telling, he's a cheat code. Somebody was like, hey, we're gonna go in the lab and we're gonna make this guy from 2K that we see. Because basically he is 2K that can't come to life. How you used to do when you play 2K or whatever, and if you still do, because I still do from time to time when I got time, because I got 4 kids, so it's not a lot of time to do that. I got 4 kids and businesses, and we out here trying to make a good living. Feel me? He is definitely a cheat code, but I love his mentality. I love how he forces these guys to play. Like it is, and if you don't play, guess what? They gonna smack. He gonna smack you. Like blow out, and he gonna let you know he blew you out. Like it's gonna be dominance, and I like that. He don't care. He like, I want everybody to play, have more respect for the game, because that's basically what we've been talking about for the last couple of years. Some of these guys don't have a natural respect for the game. They just know, like, yeah, I'm an NBA ball player and I know what I got to do, but it's a different thing. Like what the Jordans and the Kobe's had, their mentality and how they felt about the game and how they wanted to compete, and they wanted everybody else to compete. Like, give me your best because I'm going to show you mine. You feel what I'm saying? And I don't feel like the last couple of years we've seen a lot of that. It actually been almost a decade with that nonsense. And I'm not going to rant on who was the reason, because everybody, like to blame LeBron, stuff like that. And cool, I think LeBron does have a part of it. But I think some of the other stars have a part in that too. The KDs, you know what I'm saying? I think some of them, because they shrugged their shoulders and who cares what these people think? It's almost like that. But the fans are the ones that spectating and watching. Like, how I get it. Your peers say you can ball. Your peers say you're great. But we do also. You get your high praise and your recognition from us. So why not give us a show? Jordan did not 82 games, bro. I think it was like 2 seasons. He only played less than 82 games, and he was hurt one of those, and he came back from retirement. So think about it. He always played 82 games. 40-year-old Jordan, 41-year-old Jordan played 82 games. Wizard Jordan played 82 games. So let's like the load management and all that. I'm tired of that. Like Wemby is out here showing these guys like, let's go. You know what I'm saying? And I like that about it. But yeah, that's who I think gonna be in the conference finals. Now I'm gonna go out and say on a limb that I think Wemby gonna be in the finals. I do. They got a squad, Stephen Castle, De'Aaron Fox. They got Harper. They got Harrison Barnes. They got an OG over there to be in the locker room kid, and he's proven. He's been on a championship team, proven. You know what I'm saying? He know what it is when he around great players. You know what I'm saying? My God, you got the Johnson kid, the Calvin Johnson kid, who been on the Spurs for a while. And think about it. The last couple years, he was one of their leading scorers, and now he's on the bench. So you got another guy who was damn near averaging 20 for you 2 years ago, last year, 2 years ago, handling that, you know what I'm saying, on the bench. So like you got a whole list. So they built like OKC really. The only difference between them and OKC, Spurs got Wemby, and Wemby is better than Chet. Like Chet is good, but Wemby is better than Chet. So we're not even going to get to that right there. Boom. But I'm gonna just leave it at that. I think the Spurs is gonna get to the finals. And that's my reason for it. So on the East side, conference finals, definitely the Knicks, definitely Detroit. Knicks and Detroit. If Cleveland can knock off Detroit, thank you. And then we'll beat Cleveland. But Knicks and you know what? I'm tripping. I don't want the Knicks to duck the smoke from Detroit. I want them to be in here getting it in. I want them to be definitely doing what they got to do when it comes to playing Detroit. I think the Knicks is going to be the Knicks and Detroit. I'm not elaborating on no other teams because the Knicks and Detroit in the conference finals. The Knicks will win in 7 games, and we will make it to the NBA finals to play Wemby and the Spurs, which we have beaten twice. So let's take it into account that this will be a great series if this happens, the Knicks and the Spurs in the rematch from 99. I'm ready for that. The Knicks and the Spurs in the finals. Y'all hear from me first. Knicks and the Spurs. I'm not backing down from that either. Not backing down. Knicks and the Spurs. You feel me? Wemby and JB. And we beat them twice, so it's going to be a good series. I see it going 7, possibly the Knicks winning. But I ain't going to lie. Whoever come out the West, I feel like going to win the championship. If the Knicks is in the finals, you already know I'm going for the Knicks. I'm going for the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? So that's who I think is going to go. That's who I think going to do what they do. What I think in the finals. All right, up next, we're going to get into it. I'm going to get into who I think, who's MVP? Who is MVP, right? Who is the MVP? Now, everybody got Shea. I think the race was Shea. The race was Shea and Jokic, right? I know Wemby is in it. Honestly, I'm just going to go ahead and say I think Wemby should get the MVP. I think Wemby should get the MVP. I think Joker, I think Shea, and Shea get it, I'm not tripping. If Shea get it, I'm not tripping. Yeah, so who is MVP? I'm going to go with Wemby. I know most people will go with Shea. Most people probably think Joker should be it, but I think it should be Wemby. One reason, Wemby is the best defensive player in the league right now. 2, the way he has catapulted the Spurs to the second. And they've been spanking OKC all year, which Wemby has said. He has iterated this. So I'm going to say this right now. Wemby should be MVP, period. If they don't give it to him now, and I put Jaylen Brown in it too. Like Wemby first, I actually think Shea is second and Jaylen Brown is third. And then Luka or whatever. Because I know everybody hyped about Luka and his 40 points and all that stuff he's been doing, and the Lakers is third. Cool. You know what I'm saying? Put him in the MVP case. You know what I'm saying? I think at first I thought Jalen Brunson should be in the MVP talks, but the way the Knicks was so up and down, I kind of threw him out of that box. I had him up there, but yeah, those are my top 3: Wemby, Shea, and Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown's been the best two-way player so far, along with Wemby. Shea has been the best player, I feel like, leading his team, the team to the best record. so he gets that nod. But like Wemby said, he's been the best defender and one of the best offensive players, all season. And the things he has done for, you know, for the game and how he been spanking OKC, I think he definitely has to get a nod, and a vote for MVP. Even though I think Shea probably gonna get it because they've been saying Shea all season, but I think Wemby should be MVP. That's who my MVP is. I'm gonna be real with you. Like Wemby has just shown me a whole nother like I'm so excited for the new future of the NBA. If you really want to be honest, when LeBron retires, when KD retires and all that stuff like that, I am going to be happy if you want to be real. I felt like that era was just all team ups and, let me find a way to the easiest way to get to a championship type thing. And I didn't approve of that era too much. You know what I'm saying? I like certain players in that era or whatever, but that era of that span of years with those guys in it, I really wasn't. It was just like, it was too much teaming up for me. So this year, I kind of like how this new era of the new age, they stand with their teams, they building. Everybody's getting like instead of 8 deep, they getting 10 deep. Yeah, I'm feeling that. So yeah, that's what I think should be MVP though. I don't want to talk too much on the MVP joint, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, because it could go either way. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Next, I want to get into March Madness, baby. March Madness. Let's get into it. March Madness. Now we all in the I think we about to hit the Elite Eight now. Everybody coming out of we're in the Elite Eight. I think I want to say Duke already won. And now UConn came back and beat Duke. So my bracket is messed up. So UConn came back and beat Duke. So we got that, So we're gonna have that. I got Michigan actually winning in my bracket, but we're gonna see if Michigan could beat Arizona. So well, I think Michigan is gonna play. Yeah, I think Michigan is gonna play whoever what it's gonna be. I like how this March Madness go. I was going, I wanted my St. John's to make it to at least the Elite Eight and possibly the Final Four. I'm a St. John's Red Storm, always been since Felipe Lopez, Eric Bart, Felipe Lopez, Bootsy Thornton, even going, after that, with the Eric Barkleys, even Ron Artest, those guys, there was a lot of guys that I liked, out of there, you know what I'm saying? Hawkless, it's a lot of players that I liked coming out of St. John's. St. John's, the Red Storm is definitely Big East always, you know what I'm saying? So congratulations speaking of Big East, congratulations to, you know, UConn Huskies for beating Duke right now. So I still kind of got, no, I chose Michigan because I thought, Michigan is deep. They got a couple seniors. They got a deep bag, a deep team. And, they do everything. They play D. They can run with you. They can shoot, you know. So I just thought they was an all around team that you can't really sleep on. Arizona is definitely a powerhouse. That's going to be a good game. I kind of like how March Madness been going though. March Madness been, the game's been good, some good upsets. This is crazy and everything, but I definitely liked how you know, it was going. I like how everything was happening, No Cinderella, which is sad because usually that's what makes the March Madness when it's a Cinderella team that you don't expect and you like, we kind of expected some of these teams to make it. A lot of the big analysts has picked these teams to be in the Final Four, and they're definitely going to be in the Final Four. So yeah, um, like I said, I wanted to pick UConn, but I picked Duke because I thought the Boozer Boys was gonna just take it all away. I thought it was gonna be Duke and Michigan. You know, Well, I guess we're gonna see who it's gonna be now. Hopefully Michigan wins, and then my bracket will be somewhat right if I have Michigan in the championship, and if they win, that's cool because I had them win it. But yeah, that's what it is. The March Madness is crazy, man. That's what happens, man. That's what happens. That's what happens. Michigan, blew out Tennessee. We in there. That's what I like about it. So Uh, let's go into, saying what's next, baby. You already know. Let's go into what's next. Who's the number one draft pick? You got Darren Peterson. You got Darius Acuff. They're talking about Darius Acuff, Cameron Boozer, AJ, the Beaster. I think it's the Beaster. Think I think AJ is definitely one of those ones. I think AJ should be number one draft pick. To me, I think he's the number one draft pick. If somebody would pick A Cup, Darren Peterson, A Cuff, I went, Karen Boozer. I'm not really disputing that or like what? You know what I'm saying? I'm not looking at it like that. But I think for sure the star power, I think is going to be AJ Padista because I know they kind of give him the comparison of T Mac. I don't think he's like T Mac, maybe because he like 6'9" and he can score, he can move with the ball, stuff like that. They give you T Mac vibes a little bit, maybe, but not really. Excuse me, T Mac vibe, but not really. So AJ is definitely, I think, number one pick, and I will go with him if I'm a team that wants a star. I think I'm gonna go with Batista. I'm gonna go with AJ. If I'm a team that just needs a good player to plug into what I already have, I'm probably gonna pick somebody like Peterson or Cameron Boozer. If I need a guard that's electrifying, I'm gonna pick Darius Acuff if I'm an NBA team. But AJ Padista is definitely the number one pick to me. Definitely the number one pick. He shows me everything that says number one pick. When he goes up against the top players, he says big number. He has big numbers. When he went up against Peterson, he had 40, right? I think what was the other kid he went up against and he had like 45 or something like that. When it's time for when the bright lights is hit, he hit him. He turned the lights on himself. You feel what I'm saying? He come in there and flip the switches himself like it's showtime. So I think AJ is that one. So number one draft pick. I could be wrong, what I'm saying? Like I said, any one of those guys can be the number one draft pick, but I think when I saw with the games that I watch, I think AJ is that guy. And AJ will make a NBA franchise very, very, very happy. Whoever gets that pick, you know what I'm saying? Whoever gets that should be good. It should be good. But yeah, as far as that, that's what we got. You know what I'm saying? Number one draft pick, AJ for me. For anybody else, cool. Yeah, I go with y'all pick, I go with mine. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? This is about to wrap it up. This is it. Hoops talk for Relly Rell, man. I appreciate y'all. I would like y'all to like and share. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what y'all think. You know what I'm saying? Give me some little critiques, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, it ain't, I don't get mad about, critic being critiqued or whatever and stuff like that or whatever. But this is the first show and I think I did pretty good. If you say so myself, I'm used to this. So I'm used to being in front of the camera. I'm used to talking. You can already see that. So let's bring it back. You already know. Saying for watching. Like I said, likes, subscribe, and share, baby. Do that for your boy. Who's talking Relly Rell? Peace.